Good morning, guys. Welcome to another monthly net worth update for October 2023. Let's go ahead and jump right into the numbers. To recap from September, my net worth at the end of last month was $119,846. The equity that I hold in the condo back in Calgary that I own sits at $53,968. That is an increase from September of $449. And if you don't know, if you haven't seen these videos before, I have tenants in that place and the increase month over month is typically the same. My RRSP, or Registered Retirement Savings Plan, sits at a balance of $47,691. That is a decrease from September of $629. If you guys don't know, an RRSP is just a retirement savings account in Canada. My DCPP, or Defined Contribution Pension Plan, this is left over from an old job that I have. Again, it's just a retirement account, and that sits at a balance of $3,488. That's a decrease of just $45 from September. My TFSA, tax-free savings account, this is not a retirement account necessarily, but it is an account that you can invest through without paying any taxes, which is really amazing. And that sits at a balance of $11,425. This is a small decrease from the previous month of $147. I wanted to throw this in here in case you're new to the channel or you haven't really been watching these videos. All of my investment accounts, all the ones that I just listed for you here, are invested in one single index fund called VEQT, or the Vanguard All Equity Fund. I do have a really small percentage of my portfolio that's not in real estate in a single stock called Cielo Waste Solutions, and it hasn't moved at all, so I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but I just wanted to let you know exactly what I'm invested in case you're curious. The vehicle that I own with my partner in New Zealand is valued at $1,500. That's the same month over month. And my cash account sits at $1,788. This actually had an increase from last month of $386, and that is because of the income I have in the past month. So let's jump into income. So as usual, I make $500 of profit every month from rent. I made $176 from YouTube AdSense, $260 from Brim. So I do have a video, I'll link it here, about the Brim Financial MasterCard. This is a Canadian travel credit card that has no foreign transaction fee. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I have reached out to them a few times to see if they wanted to work with me because I genuinely love this credit card. It is the card that I put 90% of my expenses on in New Zealand. Is just perfect. So the reason why this amount is so high is because every time one of you guys who watches that video signs up for that card, I get $20 in bonus points, and then whoever signs up gets $10 in bonus points with my referral code. I'll put it right down here in case you're interested, but that's why that amount is so high. It's really surprising to me that I've made more money through that Brim non-affiliated code than YouTube AdSense. But it's amazing. So thank you so much if you're one of the people who signed up for that card, because it's helping me pay for my expenses every month. I also received a check from the government of Canada for $971. So this was sent to my old address, and I only just got this like a couple of days ago. The check was dated back in June. So I had no idea that I got this check. I am pretty sure it's from a EI claim, or employment insurance claim, that I made about a year ago when I was off sick from work, and they just never made a decision. So that was a really nice, unexpected amount of money that I had absolutely no idea was coming in. And that helped me pay off my credit card for the month. So thank you, Government of Canada. My total income for October was $1,853. And that brings our grand total net worth for October 2023 to $119,860. This is a very small increase from September of just $14. So the market did have a bit of a dip again this month from the previous month. If you watched my September net worth update, I had a pretty dramatic decrease in my net worth because of that. I'm not currently putting any money into any of my investment accounts. Because I'm Coast Fire, I only need to make enough money in order to cover my monthly expenses. I don't actually need to put more money into those accounts in order to have a comfortable retirement at age 65 in Canada. I can link a video here if you're interested in the Coast Fire thing, if that's something you might want to research a little bit further. But I do have plans to add to that account later in life just to pad it a little bit more. As you can see from the income breakdown, I did have a bit more income in October than previous months. So that is a contributing factor to the small amount of growth for October. Now let's move into life updates. So speaking of income and everything, I did end up getting a job. I actually got my ideal dream job, the one that I've been looking for the last couple of months, the one that I've really wanted to do since moving to Nelson, and that is working on a hop farm. So it is really tough physical work. I am a hop farm hand. That means I take care of all of the hop plants that are across a few different farms that are 20 plus hectares. I am really loving it so far. It's taking a bit of getting used to physically, but I really love working outside and working with plants. And I think it's just going to be an amazing few months doing this work. I am planning to renew my visa, not a full working holiday visa, but there is an extension you can do if you work in the horticulture or viticulture industry for 3 months on your original working holiday visa. You can get a 3-month extension. And it seems like you don't have to do a whole medical exam and everything in order to get that. I won't qualify for this until like the end of January. So it's going to be cutting it close, but I'm going to just go for it. And if it doesn't work out, we'll just have to leave a bit earlier than we want to. Potentially, we can apply for a visitor visa to stay just as visitors, but we'll see how it goes. We are not going to be staying for another full year. We do have a few things we want to go back to Canada for, and we kind of just want to get back to Calgary, see our friends, see our family, and get back into our normal everyday life. We would ideally like to stay until April or May in order to be here for that harvest season so that we can enjoy all the fresh hop beers. Another update is that I made my very first homebrew of beer a few days ago. It was an entire day's worth of work. It was like 9 or 10 hours. I ended up making 2 different batches, one alcoholic and one non-alcoholic from the same grain. So fingers crossed that it actually turns out. I tasted it all throughout the process and it was kind of like more bitter than I personally like, but it seems like it's working. It seems like it's fermenting. The beer is in like a small closet right now, just doing its thing, and it's going to take 2 weeks to ferment, and then I have to put them into bottles to ferment for another 2 weeks. So it's not going to be ready for like 3 weeks from now, but fingers crossed it works out, because this could definitely be a hobby of mine going forward. And because I don't drink a lot, I'm really hoping to make strides in the non-alcoholic space. We're also getting so excited for summer. The nice warm weather is finally starting to show up, and we cannot wait to share all of our summer adventures with you guys. We live right across the street from a nice, beautiful beach. So we're going to be getting lots of time in the water, lots of time out on the kayak. I'm so excited to be here in the summer and to see New Zealand at its absolute best. For travel plans, we're going to be heading to Dunedin for the Dunedin Craft Beer Fest this weekend. So stay tuned for a vlog about that. We ended up getting complimentary tickets. So I reached out to their team and they got back to us and said if we were going to make a video about the festival that we could get free access to the event, because the show was actually sold out the day that we wanted to go. So I'm so happy to say that we were able to make that happen. And another thing to note with a lot of events in New Zealand specifically, I'm not actually sure if this is the same back home in Canada or anywhere else, but a lot of them do not allow you to bring any kind of professional camera equipment into the event. So even if we didn't want to get like free entry and stuff like that, you really always have to reach out and ask for a media pass and ask for permission to bring that equipment in. And usually that comes with free entry. So it kind of just works out that way. But we're super excited. We have a very long drive because the flights were over $300 round trip each. So we've got a 10-hour drive both ways. So we're going to be driving 20 hours in a span of 3 or 4 days. So it's going to be a lot of driving, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, that the weather is actually decent, and sometimes it just works out that way. There aren't many airlines in Nelson that operate, so we're a bit limited on who we can fly with, and Air New Zealand is just not that cheap. Kind of have to go with whatever's there, which sucks. I mean, that's one of the big detractors, I think, of living in Nelson. And the last thing on the life updates is I'm getting really, really close to 3,000 subscribers, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of this channel. I'm so excited to have you here. It's been a crazy journey. It's been nearly 4 years now, and I've really only seen success in the last year. So thank you so much for watching my videos and for liking and all of that, because it really does help. And it's really motivating when you guys leave me positive comments over the months, getting to know some of you through the comment section or through DMs on Instagram, which I will link my Instagram down below. I don't post on there like super frequently, but I'm trying to be better at that. And it's a really good way for me to connect with you guys. And that pretty much wraps it up for today's net worth update. So thank you so much again for joining me, and I'll see you guys really soon in the next video. Bye.